Welcome to LnS Gallery. My name is Luisa Lignarolo.
And my name is Sergio Cernuda. We are pleased to present the extraordinary work of painter Tim Buwalda. 2 years in the making, his exhibit titled Neighborhood Projects explores the automobile, set against backdrops of humble origins, as the ideal symbol of reference to the American dream.
As great admirers of his work, we are honored to share Neighborhood Projects by Tim Buwalda.
The exhibition touches a lot about our current social climate. It ties together the ideas of the American dream, the aspect of ingenuity, and as well of the appreciation of our history, which we believe today is in a fragile state.
I'm Tim Buwalda. This work is an idea that I've been working for years. It started with car wrecks and went through different forms, where these are now cars from the golden automobile age, kind of in a static state for the most part. I wanted these to be both realistic and abstract because I have affinity for both. Most people read them as primarily realistic. Some people call them photorealistic, which I don't, because there's windows of abstract painting in every single one of these. I try to find moments where I can get away with being very painterly. I try to keep things that I think are most in focus, most realistic, like a lot of the Renaissance artists and artists throughout history did, where they'll have the foreground super crisp and the background more blurred out, more cool. They're all based off a photograph, but I don't always stay exactly true to the photograph. And I try to find passages where I can actually play in the paint a little bit more instead of just being so photo exact. I try to find ways to play with color theory for a kind of harmony. The environment plays an equal place to the automobile, like the 40s and 50s style houses, the palmettos and the palms and the specific kind of grass to this region. It's a very Miami, South Florida show. I wanted to have this be a part of my history, almost pay an homage to South Florida and the foliage that I chose and the light that I chose, and hopefully people can relate to it even if they aren't from Florida. And it works to talk about the idea of manifest destiny, like conquering the land almost. We kept trying and trying and trying, and eventually we got to this state where we have to realize there's parts that aren't working. The tarps are really important. They represent something that's being protected. The prized items, they want to both hide them from the public and they want to protect them from the elements so they can rebuild them later on. These people love these vehicles, they mean something, and they're a projection of themselves. And they want to rebuild them and make them the golden period of what they used to be, I guess. A lot of these cars are owned by people who probably couldn't afford them when they were younger, and now they buy them and they're trying to rebuild them and trying to relive a part of their history. J.G. Ballard always referred to these as an exoskeleton, a projection of ourselves, the status, the freedom, the beauty that we want to talk about, but we're almost too ashamed to. Yeah, I wanted to have one painting that wasn't stationary, that kind of took the power back, and that's Mark of the Beast, Revelations. I wanted to have it be a very forceful painting in your face, the powerful motor, the burning of the tires, the smoke, referencing almost a sinister evil feeling to it, but also rising above. And the rest of these vehicles are very stationary, very quiet. I want it to be almost poetic. People think of these vehicles almost as a love, and they want to protect them, they want to cherish them, and they don't want to give them up. And I think the best way to have that encompassed is a very quiet, stationary position. I always want to keep some part of the paintings that have a rejuvenation in them, which is in Tecumseh over here, it has all these new growth of the foliage and almost like a rebirth. So, okay, the dream didn't work, but it hasn't failed completely. We're still trying to build this thing that is America.
We are open Tuesday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Saturdays from 12 to 5 p.m.
Recorded and produced by George Fishman for QR Art Guide.